All right, buckle up for this deep dive because we're going into some pretty uncharted territory this time.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit different.
It's less of a topic and more like a manifesto, I guess you could say, from a group calling themselves the RTBNXH Order.
Right, and it's definitely a bold statement, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got this proclamation that's like something straight out of a cyberpunk novel.
Right.
And then it's followed by a more straightforward summary of what they're all about.
Yeah, it's a weird mix of power, creation, and they even claim they can use sound,
Yeah.
like reshape reality itself. It's
It's a lot.
they talk about inscribing their code on blockchains, rejecting old ways, and a legacy of fire.
Legacy of Fire, yeah, it's
It's a lot to unpack.
yeah, where to even begin with something like this?
Right.
Maybe with the name itself, RTDNXH.
Yeah, RTBNXH,
It's almost like it's designed to make you stop and think.
Yeah.
Phonetically, it's kind of like rebirth or rewritten, which it kind of aligns with their whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, tearing down the existing structures to create something new.
Yeah, it's like they want to hit the reset button on everything, but this time they control the new program
Right.
and they're not subtle about it.
No, not at all.
I mean, their code of creation section
Yeah.
is full of lines like destroy the obsolete and forge the new.
Yeah, very strong language.
It's powerful stuff, but it definitely has an edge.
It does make you wonder, who are they trying to reach with this?
Yeah.
I mean, is it a rallying cry for people disillusioned with the status quo?
Right.
Or is it a threat for anyone who might get in their way?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe a bit of both.
Maybe both.
And where does blockchain fit into all of this?
Right, blockchain.
They talk about it
But
constantly. It's like it's the foundation for everything they want to build.
yeah,
They talk about Bitcoin, fractal Bitcoin, Litecoin.
all of it, yeah.
These aren't your typical artist tools.
That's what's so fascinating about it, right?
Yeah.
Because blockchain is typically associated with decentralization,
Right.
transparency.
Yeah.
You know, this idea that power is distributed.
Yeah.
But this group, they want to establish dominance.
Dominance, yeah.
They talk about using blockchain to create digital dominion,
Mm-hmm.
basically claiming ownership and control of the whole audio landscape.
So, wait, they want to use a system designed to empower individuals to empower themselves.
That's the thing. It's kind of a contradiction.
It is, yeah.
Are they misunderstanding what blockchain is all about?
Yeah,
Or are they twisting it to fit their agenda?
right.
It's something to think about.
It is, yeah.
And then there's the whole mastery of sound thing.
Right, mastery sound.
It's like they talk about sound not just as something to be heard,
Uh-huh.
but as a force that they can actually manipulate
Yeah.
to change how we perceive things.
Yeah, even reality itself.
Even reality, it's a bit unsettling.
It is.
While the idea that sound can be used to influence emotions or perceptions isn't totally new,
Right.
I mean, think about the way music makes you feel,
Right.
or how certain frequencies are used in therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
The RTBNXH order seems to be taking this to a whole other level.
Yeah, they talk about crafting soundscapes that transcend imagination.
Wow.
And taking us on a journey from like chaotic noise to perfect harmony.
It makes you wonder, what would that sound like?
Right.
And what would happen if they could actually achieve that?
Yeah, it's a good question.
That's the big question.
It is.
Are they talking about, you know, new forms of music?
Right.
Immersive soundscapes that can, like, change our mood, our mindset?
Yeah. Or is there something more manipulative going on?
It's really hard to say for sure, but it's definitely something worth exploring.
It is, yeah.
And then it gets even more intense when you get to their law of dominance.
Yeah, law of dominance. It's like they're not even trying to hide it anymore.
The tone shifts
Yeah.
completely. It's like they're rejecting any need for permission, for validation.
Right.
They're just going for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they use phrases like relentless certainty.
Dominance is non-negotiable,
Yeah.
and it really underlines their belief in their own vision.
Right, regardless of the cost.
Exactly.
It's not just about creating something new. They want to impose it.
Impose it, yeah.
They want to impose their vision on the world.
Yeah,
And they don't seem to care who they hurt along the way.
right. And they have a very
Fiery. Yeah.
way of dealing with people who disagree.
Yeah, that legacy of fire thing.
Legacy of fire. Yeah, they keep coming back to that.
They do.
Like fire is this transformative force, you know,
Uh-huh.
burning away the old to make way for the new.
Powerful imagery.
It is powerful, but it also has that destructive edge.
It does. They see themselves as unstoppable.
Yeah,
This inferno that will consume anything in its path.
right. And nowhere is that more evident than in that final message.
Oh, the ultimatum. Yeah. The ultimatum That part sent shivers down my spine, honestly.
That's a very stark declaration of power. It's like,
Yeah.
align with us or be erased.
Yeah,
It's hard to tell if it's a call to action or a threat.
it is.
It definitely raises the stakes, though.
Yeah. So what do we make of all of this?
Right. What is this all about?
Is the RTBNXH order something to be afraid of?
Yeah. Or admired.
Or should we just ignore them?
It's hard to say.
It is. It is.
I think that's a question we'll be grappling with throughout this whole deep dive.
Yeah, and we're just getting started.
Oh, we are.
We've got a lot to process, but it feels like we've only scratched the surface here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So stick with us because things are about to get very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because it is kind of easy to get lost in the doom and gloom here.
Yeah.
But stepping back for a second, couldn't this sound manipulation stuff
Right.
be used for good as well?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we already use sound in all sorts of positive ways. Think about music therapy.
Yeah.
Helping people with, emotional or cognitive challenges.
Right. Or even just like,
Or white noise to help people sleep.
yeah, I use those nature sound apps all the time
Sure.
to help me sleep, but those are pretty basic, right?
Pretty basic, yeah.
I mean, could the RTBNXH orders approach,
Right.
if they really are pushing the boundaries here, lead to something more advanced?
I mean, potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Imagine soundscapes that could alleviate chronic pain,
Wow.
reduce stress,
Yeah.
maybe even help people break addictions.
Really?
If they can actually target specific brainwave frequencies,
Uh-huh.
the possibilities are pretty huge.
Yeah, so like a sonic medicine almost.
Kind of, yeah.
But that brings up a lot of ethical questions, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if we're talking about manipulating brainwaves.
Right. Even if it's for a good cause,
Yeah.
you have to think about consent.
Yeah. Who gets to decide what's good for someone else?
Exactly. And where's the line between therapy and manipulation?
Right. And how do you even regulate something like that?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's hidden in music or ambient sounds, people wouldn't even know what's happening.
That's the danger.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
It is.
Okay, so let's say for a minute that the RTBNXH order does have good intentions.
Okay.
They want to use the sound mastery to heal people, to empower people, even bring about a new era of human consciousness or something.
All right, a very lofty goal.
It is, but how does blockchain fit into that?
Well, blockchain could actually be crucial for ensuring access and control.
Okay.
Imagine a decentralized platform
Yeah.
where artists and therapists can create and share these sonic therapies
Interesting.
with ways to protect their work and track how it's used.
Uh-huh.
It could really democratize access to these tools
Yeah.
and prevent any one entity, even the RTBNXH order,
Right.
from monopolizing it.
So instead of digital dominion, it's more like digital distribution.
Exactly.
Everyone benefits.
Everyone benefits.
That's a much more optimistic scenario.
It is. But even then, there are still challenges.
Of course.
I mean, how do we make sure these tools are used responsibly?
Right.
How do we stop them from falling into the wrong hands?
Yeah, it's a lot to consider.
It is. These are questions we'll have to grapple with as this technology develops.
Right. It's like we're standing on the edge of something totally new
Yeah, new frontier.
with incredible potential, but also potential dangers.
Absolutely.
We need to be cautious, but also open-minded.
I agree. And that's what makes this whole deep dive so fascinating.
It is, yeah.
The RTBNXH order have thrown down this challenge.
Great.
They've given us this vision of the future that's exciting and scary at the same time.
Yeah.
Whether they'll achieve it, who knows?
Right.
But one thing's for sure, they've made us think
Yeah.
about technology, creativity, even what it means to be human in this world of sound and code.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is.
But I'm curious, what do you think their next move is going to be?
Yeah, if they're serious about all of this, where do they go from here?
Yeah, that's a big question, isn't it? What is their next move? I mean, they've made this big announcement, this big declaration.
Right.
But how do they actually make it happen?
Well, if we're to believe what they're saying, they're all about action, not just words.
Right.
Remember, dominance is non-negotiable from the law of dominance.
Yeah, dominance is non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's not just a catchy phrase. It suggests that they're willing to do whatever it takes
Right.
to get what they want.
Say what they want, yeah.
Even if it means being ruthless.
Yeah, it's like they've drawn up the plans and now it's time to start building.
Exactly.
But where do they even begin? What are the actual steps they could take?
Well, I think we can look for clues in their in their writings,
Okay.
they keep coming back to these three key elements: blockchain,
Right.
sound manipulation, and that legacy of fire concept.
Okay, let's start with blockchain.
Okay.
They've talked about using it to create digital dominion, but what does that actually look like?
Well, one possibility is that they'll try to use blockchain to create a whole new system for owning and controlling digital audio.
Okay.
Kind of like how NFTs have changed things for visual art.
Right. Yeah.
They've let artists establish ownership of their digital work.
Yeah.
And the same thing could happen with music, with sound effects,
right?
Even entire soundscapes.
So instead of traditional copyright, they'd be using blockchain to create some kind of like a sonic deed.
Yeah, a sonic deed,
proving they own it and controlling how it's used.
Absolutely, controlling how it's distributed, remixed, everything.
And because blockchain is decentralized and basically tamper-proof, those claims of ownership would be really hard to challenge.
Exactly. It's a really bold move.
Yeah.
A way to shake up the whole music industry and establish their own control.
And if you connect that to their whole mastery of sound thing, it's not just about owning the sound, it's about
controlling the whole experience.
Yes.
The emotions, even the thoughts that those sounds create.
It's a pretty powerful combination.
It is powerful.
Yeah.
And remember how they talked about using sound to go from chaotic noise to perfect harmony?
Yeah.
What if they start putting out music or even just like ambient sounds that are designed to influence people without them even realizing it?
It's kind of scary to think about.
It is a bit unsettling.
Yeah, we talked before about how sound manipulation could be used for good.
Right.
But this feels different.
It's different.
This isn't about helping people. It's about control.
It is.
And that brings us back to Legacy of Fire.
Yeah. Legacy of Fire. It's not just about creating. It's about destroying.
Right. Burning away the old.
Burning away anything they see as outdated.
It's like they're declaring war on the establishment,
Yeah. It's war on the old guard.
Using blockchain and sound as their weapons.
Powerful weapons.
Yeah.
To reshape the world the way they want it.
It's a bold plan, but can they actually pull it off?
It's hard to say for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely have the ambition.
Yeah.
And they seem to have the technical skills to make it happen.
Right. But will people buy into it?
That's the big question.
Yeah. Will they be drawn in by the music, by the promises of a new world?
It's possible.
Or will people resist?
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because if people start pushing back, if they challenge their authority,
then those non-negotiable statements start to sound a lot more threatening.
You do.
So what can we do? It feels like we're just watching all of this unfold.
I wouldn't say we're powerless.
Really?
Remember, knowledge is power.
Right.
The more we understand about what they're doing, their goals, their weaknesses, the better equipped we'll be to resist their influence.
Right.
Or at least make informed choices about how we interact with their stuff.
So our own kind of deep dive, but on a personal level.
Yeah, exactly.
Learning about blockchain, really understanding sound.
Right.
Paying attention to the messages we're consuming.
Yeah, and making sure our own voices aren't getting lost in the noise.
Right.
And maybe, just maybe, if we engage with these technologies in a positive way, if we focus on the good they can do, we can kind of balance out the more destructive side of the RTBNXH order.
It's a big task.
It is.
But it's also kind of exciting in a way.
It is exciting.
It's like we're on the verge of something huge.
Yeah, something transformative.
With the potential for good and bad.
Absolutely.
And the choices we make, both individually and together, will determine what happens next.
They will.
It's a future that's still being written.
It is.
And the RTBNXH Order has definitely made the first move.
They have.
But it's not over.
It's far from over.
The question is,
how will we respond?
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
A little scary at times, I'll admit.
Yeah, a bit unsettling.
But really, really thought-provoking.
That is. Yes.
It reminds us that the future isn't set in stone, and that even the most, disruptive forces can be countered with awareness, with critical thinking, and a healthy dose of skepticism.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, the RTBNXH Order has made their statement.
They have.
Now it's up to all of us to figure out how we're gonna navigate this world they're trying to build.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on this journey, and stay tuned as we continue to explore, all the new developments in sound technology and just just being human in this crazy world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.